And now let's get straight into this. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. This is the year of the startup. This is the big time when people say India is going to become the next Silicon Valley. So I'm going to just start by asking you that, because we've seen it in the IT service industry. We are seeing this in e-commerce, the sort of companies that are coming out. What's next in the Indian startup ecosystem? Who wants to go first? Vijay?
Okay. I think it is always tough to predict what is next in the startup ecosystem, because the best startups happened when nobody expected. I think we have to give it to Sachin at a time when there was nobody waiting for e-commerce to happen. And I think at the same point of time as Paytm, when we were building, there was no payment expectation. I still remember it was a stupid idea of that time. So I won't like to guess it. I like to give it to those incredible entrepreneurs to build something and surprise everyone. So no chances to guess.
Sachin?
No, I think we need to look at what the startups are doing these days. I think they are going after really big problems and different problems than what we have seen so far. Most of the startups today that we see are solving problems which have been solved in other countries. For the first time, we are seeing problems that are new to India or unique to India are being attacked and solved for. I think that's what I'm looking forward to. And it puts a lot of us here actually under pressure to actually become very local in our approach, to understand what the local challenges are and mold accordingly.
So I think, I agree with you. I think we need to look at the Indian problems and the problems in the Indian context. And I personally think that two problems that need some real entrepreneur behind it to solve it is, one is the solid waste management in the country. And the second is just the transportation problem. I think these two...
I should have called you for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which when we were doing the next cleanathon, you're coming with a solution.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what the solution should be, but we get so many people, clients and everybody to come here, and the first thing that they remark is, why is the country not so clean? And it's a tough problem to solve because there is such a big involvement of the government in it. But heck, finance once was regulated, commerce was regulated. I'm sure we'll figure out how the waste management will also be deregulated and will become a next billionaire.
As we are seeing, Swachh Delhi is really looking good nowadays with the MCD situation. Kunal, same question.
I think two of the unsolved problems, and they'll perennially be unsolved, are healthcare and education. I think there's so much low-hanging fruit, though, that we can pick by just reducing the information asymmetry that exists right now for consumers and citizens, both around healthcare and education. I think those are two really interesting areas.
Okay, now it is Indian of the Year. Therefore, a quick question. Gadget of the Year already for you. So we are very early yet into the year. But for all of you, what is the Gadget of the Year already?
So we just had a baby girl just 1 month ago, and I'm very paranoid about air quality. So I actually bought a Philips air purifier for every room of our house.
Okay, so automatically Gadget of the Year for sure.
Yeah, for us, the Gadget of the Year is the VR handsets. I was just at CES just a few days ago, and the revolution that the VR handsets are going to bring into the world.
Would you just say that again once more so Rajiv can hear it? Because he and I have been having this argument. I've been telling him 2016 is going to be the year of VR.
I fundamentally, and I know a few people who are working to make the content production on VR really cheap. So the problem is not the hardware. I think the hardware cost will come down very fast. The problem is the content production and the expensiveness of the content production. Though we are in the ad business, for me, content has to grow and then I will put the ads on it. But first, the content needs to come there.
The reason I said that VR is not right is it's not for Vikram. He anyway lives in a virtual reality world even before it was invented. So, it's not just not for him.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm really looking forward to automated car. And I want to see that. I think this is the year probably we'll see some of it in production somewhere in the world, and maybe hopefully some trials in India and see how it performs here.
But are you waiting for a Ferrari that is driverless, or okay, that's a personal joke.
I'm also trying to figure out.
It's a personal joke that he and I have.
Sachin, can I ask you a question? One thing which worries me about those driverless cars in India is, I'm not sure, how do you put in an algorithm which says now a cow is going to run across the road, or you're going to find a tractor coming the wrong way? How do you factor that in?
I really want to take some of those cars and put them on the India roads to actually see what happens, just to see that what happens, right? How does it deal with probably cows and dogs and stuff? So
the word crash comes to mind.
Or insurance.
Okay, so I'm looking for something which is going to be possible, and I'm talking to Tesla right now to bring one of the Teslas in India.
Wow.
And I believe that this will be the year when electric cars will become far more real beyond just the fact that they are, and they will cross the $20,000 and touch the $20,000 at a sizable number price. So for me, the gadget for the year will be electric cars, which is in a mass market. And
Well, you know, I was also at CES and I did recommend to them they shouldn't call it consumer electronics show anymore. It should be car electronics show. Most of the best technology there were just cars.
Okay, well, Rajiv, a little while back, I did speak to Pranay also, Quicker, who was also, with us here this evening, and I asked him for what he really thinks is going to happen and some of his predictions. So let's listen into what he said. So here we have with us the Quicker boss. So tell me, what's going to be happening this year? How quick are you going to be moving?
We're going to be moving quicker than the speed of light. I think one thing I can say is we are going to change this way, this year, the way people actually buy and sell from each other. We're going to fundamentally change that.
So, from a gadget point of view, all these devices that people are buying, easy to sell them now? Second hand?
Yes, easier than ever. I think what is happening in our country is, on one hand, a lot of people are buying new gadgets, but what it's also creating is a very large supply of used gadgets, which other people who might have the same aspirations but not the same affordability, they are looking for. So there's a great market to be made between the two.
Okay, but from the point of view of e-commerce and people making those transactions, this is going to be a really big year, you think? It's going to be a defining year because so many more people are now coming onto the internet. You have these really cheap handsets which are affordable. Internet now perhaps might finally get to everybody. Inflection point, 2016?
Totally, and I think it's an inflection point for a certain section of the population. I think our internet is well poised to actually move from English-speaking internet to local language-speaking internet. So I would guess this year is the year when you'll see more non-English speakers coming into the internet fold than English speakers, by far.
All right, so the year that the non-English internet really takes off in India, that's a really important prediction and 100% correct too.
So that then was our $50 billion conversation.